Bleeding Hearts issue 1, Deniz Camp writing with STIPAN MORIAN on the art. This is the first of our new Vertigo books. I mean, we did have Nice House by the Sea last week, but I'm not counting that. That was a returning book.
No.
It's been going on for ages.
Yeah.
This is the first of the new books, and obviously the writer of Absolute Martian Manhunter made it. I mean, we're going to try them all anyway, but that made this one stick out from a creative perspective. Even though the premise is a little bit weird. This is a book about a zombie in a post-apocalyptic zombie world, and we hear his thoughts. Now, the book heavily implies that he is different from the other zombies. He's not like them and doesn't necessarily want to eat people as much as he does, but it's got a kind of a darkly comic kind of vibe where it's, you're hearing his narration as he's talking about people running away from zombies and how the zombie world kind of works now and how he's part of a horde and all the rest of it. And they have weirdly long names. They do shorten them, right? Because he's called Poke, but the full name is like something pokes through hole in head is like the full title.
Yeah, mouse pokes golf ball through hole in head.
Yes,
is the full name.
Yeah,
and then his friend Mush's mushrooms grow up all over like little forests.
Yeah, So that's it's fun, and the zombies have this kind of bulky green kind of quality to them. Now, the obviously the thing that we see early on. Now we don't really have the full context for it, but it seems like our main character Poke, his heart is actually beating, unlike all the other zombies. And I do like the particularly the. I was going to say the art, but more specifically the big, giant, sort of bubbly letters doing the heart sound effect.
Yep. Lub-dub.
Yeah, the lub-dubs, because they almost look like little balloons coming up from behind them, and I actually really like the feeling that gives it. Anyway, what did you think of Bleeding Hearts issue 1?
So I'm not big on zombie type stuff. I'm not a fan of the post-apocalyptic, so anytime there's a new take on it, I'm curious, right? Because like maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the one that kicks it over. And like I thought this was fine, but it's very heady's not the right word. There's a lot of what's going on. Maybe heady is the word. A lot of what's going on in Poke's head, right? A lot of introspection, a lot of him explaining the world that was and the world that is. And I appreciate that take, like a zombie post-apocalypse from the zombies' perspective, but ultimately it just hit the same type of tropes. And I was like, I don't know if I want to continue through it because it didn't really hit me. Like there was enough there that I was like, this is interesting, but not enough that I'd be like, okay, when issue 2 comes around, am I going to be excited to read it? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's some fun bits, like there's like a billboard for saying I love pizza, and like a girl eating pizza on the billboard, and then in the foreground someone's like biting into a heart and pulling it apart, and it looks kind of like the pizza on the billboard. There's some little flourishes like that. I think the art's good for the zombies, but some of the humans, when you see them, look a bit weird. Yeah. Like there's like one woman whose like boobs are bigger than her head, and it's just really weird looking. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I actually come to this from like a weirdly different perspective, where I do like good zombie stories. Like some of the greats, obviously the Night, Dawn, and Day original trilogy, and I like a good zombie story, A Train to Busan or whatever. What I don't actually tend to like as much is the more kind of gimmicky, we're going to make the zombies themselves the characters. I'm thinking like a Warm Bodies or something like that, where it's kind of cutesy and it's like, hey, there's a zombie, but he's still thinking and there's a kind of quirky logic to him. I don't tend to be super into that. Or even something like Lisa Frankenstein, like a year or two ago. I find that a little bit, I don't know. Like it's like I get why it appeals to people, but it doesn't quite work for me. I would much rather just have the horror version of a zombie story than the weird like postmodern take on the zombie story. I thought the issue was well told though, and I think the voice for the character works quite well. So that's something.
I loved when Deniz Camp would poke through with the stuff that we associate him with Absolute Martian Manhunter, where like when we get to the suburbs. And they talk about, how the zombies love the suburbs because, it is all the nooks and the crannies, the holes and the inconsistencies. the suburbs have potential. They all seem to be hiding something. I mean, that is like the description of the movie The Burbs, right? Like what is going when everything seems so normal, what is going on there underneath that's not normal, right? So I like when that pokes through, but just following the zombies going through and them having the little cutesy type stuff, I was like, this is fine, but it's not exactly my kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it ends with the main character finding a woman and her child, and obviously I have to assume that he is going to lie and maybe protect these humans from the other zombies, because it feels like that's the way the direction the story is going in. And I don't think that's a bad direction to go in.
No.
This was an oversized issue. This was, I don't know how many pages it was off the top of my head. It was like... Yeah, it was like 30. It was like, I think it had like 10 extra pages. I don't know if that's going to be like an ongoing thing or if it's just like the issue ones are getting a little bit extra to breathe.
Yeah.
I will say the middle of this issue did feel like it was like there wasn't much momentum. It felt like we were still just kind of like casually learning more about how the zombies work, as opposed to it having like the sense of like I say, momentum is the thing that felt was a little bit lacking for me in the middle. And, there's a few different scenes of, like, someone being chased to the top of a car park and being eaten, like a priest gets chased into a church and gets eaten. There's a few different scenes like that. So I think I had high hopes for this just purely because it was Dennis Camp, and I think that I have to admit that I'm not even that excited about an issue 2 of this. Like, I think...
Okay.
I may take a look at it just to see what the story, because this feels like the story's just starting at the end. This ending feels like the inciting incident that's actually going to propel what the story is. This entire issue is basically just, here's what this world is, here's who this character is, and he is different. So I may check out issue 2, but I wouldn't promise it, because I don't think I came away from this thinking, oh, this is a super cool, like, must-read story. I think part of the interesting thing about like vertical books or image books or any of these non-superheroes things is that it can fall into this like victim place where it's like kind of like a movie or like different types of movie, and if I happen to just not like those types of movie, or if I feel like it's not good enough where I'm like, oh, I'd rather just watch the movie that I'd associate with this topic, it can sometimes suffer. And I think this is, for me, this is where it's fallen into me, where this is the sort of thing where I wouldn't be that enthusiastic about the movie of this either. I'd be kind of like, I'd probably finish it, but I wouldn't be like, So I don't know. I'm not enthusiastic. I'm like, it's not bad, but I'm just not enthusiastic about it.
No. I mean, if this was any other writer besides Dennis Camp, I don't think we'd be like, oh, we'll check out an issue 2, maybe. I think we'd be like, oh, it didn't really hit with us.
Yeah.
And, move on, because we do try to do the first issues, right, usually. So, but yeah, anyone else other than Dennis Camp, I don't think we would be like, oh, okay, because we know what Camp is capable of. And the art's decent enough. Like, there's a sense to it. Like it has its identity.
And it does that classic thing where a lot of the colors are very muted, so whenever there's blood or there's those like heart sound effects, they always pop. The red always really pops, so it's doing that quite smartly.
Yeah. And also, I just checked, the following issue is 32 pages instead of 40.
Okay, so just normal size.
The first issues are oversized. Yeah,
that's fine. It's not that much more where you really feel it, to be honest, but it's just enough where it's like a few extra pages. So,
but
yeah, it's I would have loved to have come out of this more enthusiastic, but you know what? They're launching like 6 or 7 Vertigo books. There's a good chance that they're not all going to click. I guess there was an expectation this one might because of the writer, but at the same time, I knew it was just a zombie story, so I was also not like thinking, oh, it's that interesting sounding based on premise either. So, but not bad though. I mean, check it if it sounds like something you'd be interested in. I'd check it out. It's not a bad time. It's just
I can definitely see this getting like not a cult following, but like a following just because of the content that is there.
Yeah,
and the style of it. So,
All right, cool. Well, we can rate the book then.
We can rate it?
Yeah, what are we giving it?
Oh, okay. I feel like a 6.5 seems like not enough, but I can't justify it going to 7. So I'm going to go with 6.5.
I'll give it the 7. I think it is objectively good. It's perfectly fine. It's just... Yeah, I just wish I was more enthusiastic about it.